Get up, you're asleep at the wheel. Hi, I'm Bobby Likas. Are you asleep at the wheel? Have you ever gone to sleep at the wheel? Well, you don't have to answer that. Or you could put yay or nay, or I dozed off a few times. I can remember some trips that I took when I was a teenager. I thought that I would go from the Gulf Coast of Florida to Chicago, and I'd do it in one fell swoop, and I did. So I drove some 16 hours straight through, and I thought I was a hero. Little did I know that as I was driving along and going to sleep, I would actually roll the window down with, I guess I imagine the wind chill factor was somewhere in the minus 20s, hold my hand out the window until it really got cold, and then rub it across my face. I don't know how many of you have ever done that. Welcome to Bobby Likas Car Clinic here. We're live on Paltalk.com every Thursday from noon until 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm glad that you joined me. And here are the rules. This is a general room. I'd love for you to cam up. Also, if you have a question about the automotive industry or fuels or oils or, anything to do with automobiles, I'm your man. I see that we have a palm up already. So I'm going to turn over the mic. And when it's your turn, if you would, I would hope that you have already made sure that your microphone works. Again, every Thursday, from noon until 1 p.m., I invite you into Bobby Likas Car Clinic here on Paltalk.com. Just consider me your personal car consultant, and I will do my best to answer your questions. And also, I'd love to hear your comments. So we'll go to Flash first and turn the mic to Flash. Welcome to Bobby Likas Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Good morning. How you doing?
Morning. Fine.
Okay, I got a question. I got a 1995 Chevy Silverado pickup. Its rear is locked up, and I was wondering, do you think that would be the differential itself or the transfer case on the transmission?
Well, that's easy enough to decide. Just disconnect the drive shaft, and you say rear is locked up. Disconnect the drive shaft going to the rear, and if the car rolls, then it's in then it's not in the differential. I would imagine, given the experience that I have seen with differentials on Chevrolets, that the pin that holds the spider gears and the axle gears, the circlip has sheared and has fallen out, and all of those, if you've ever seen the inside of one of those, all those gears have self-destroyed and self-destructed, and that's what's locked up the car. Rarely have I seen a transfer case that, unless you knew it and you were off-roading and you were abusing the vehicle, and you know better than I, you were driving it, or maybe someone else was driving it.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, well,
I was off-roading and kind of abusing it a little.
Yeah, what kind of, I hear you, kind of. That's kind of a vague description, but so Flash, just remove the drive shaft that feeds the rear wheels, and then see if the rear wheels can turn over. You can turn the pinion, just, you have to have the car suspended, and make sure that you don't jack it up and get under it. Make sure you have jack stands underneath this vehicle. And for that matter, you could raise just the left rear wheel, unless it had a positive traction rear end. I think the best thing to do is to raise all four wheels off the ground, remove the drive shaft, turn the differential, and you'll have the answer to your question right there. Really easy to do. Okay, that's an easy a question. We'll go to. You're welcome a lot. Thanks for joining me today here on Bobby Likas Car Clinic on Paltalk.com. Douglas, 4.3 or 43? Does that mean you're 43 years old, or just number 43 in the household? Or do I ask?
Hey, thanks, Bobby. Now that's just when I was 43. Hey, I just want to say thanks for the advice a while back on the 2004 Envoy. It was the cluster. Yeah. It's repaired. It's up and running good. That's the tack and the speedo. Also, being able to call your staff at your shop even when you're not on PAL or on the air for the advice and the pointers. Can't wait to drive up and see the facility. My question is, in 2008, with the the growing fuel prices, and we're switching to ethanol, how concerned should us folks be with the newer vehicles about ethanol and what it can do damage-wise to our vehicles with the alcohol content, etc.? I'd like some advice on that, and if we should be concerned with our vehicles and what we can do to prohibit any damage that might occur.
That's a terrific question. Thank you for your courtesy and your kind remarks. I got to share with you. Ethanol. There are a lot of pros and cons on ethanol when considered, and we look at ethanol from corn. So I won't go into a lot of long explanations, but just to share with you that currently the total percentage of ethanol that is in 60% of all gasoline in the United States is less than 9%. In California, it's less than 7%. I think their rules, well, California has different rules. New York has different rules. So here we are, caught in the middle, you might say, and a good place to be in the middle, because you can see the east and the west and the north and the south. You can see the left and the right, and you can get a clearer picture. Not to worry about damage to any automobiles currently on the road that were manufactured after 80 and a half, or let's say 81, because starting in 1981, which the oil embargo and started in 75, and then we had some air attainment quality issues, and so that's really where fuel additives started, and that was MTBE, which was an additive that the blenders, and the blenders are BP and Exxon, that's what they call them, the blenders, the oil companies, they used MTBE rather than ethanol from corn. And that was 30 years ago, and so fast forward 30 years, and we're using ethanol from corn, and also we're creating ethanol from, and the technology is almost there, but not there in mass. That is ethanol from cellulosic materials that's going to be 7 times more productive than ethanol from corn. So when you look at the energy from gasoline and energy from corn or ethanol enhanced gas, you say, well, it's not as good. Now, here's the challenge. And if someone else would like to hold your palm up and ask a question or offer an opinion, I invite you to do so now. And I will see it on the screen, and I'll take your call and your comment. But ethanol is a part. It's a small part, but it's a right step. It's a step in the right direction to move us away from dependence on foreign oil. So is drilling. And I made the statement a while back that I was not for drilling. And that statement is really not my true feeling. So I want to clarify that statement. It's still true that drilling for oil is not the answer. It is a